Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. Today is episode 5 of Open the Door to Healing, and the title of today's video, as you saw when you clicked on it, is The Key to Being Selfish, about self-care. So today's talk is about self-care, and I'm also going to sing a couple songs for you in a little while, so stick around. Now, I've asked myself, why is it considered selfish to want to provide for ourselves self-care? And I looked up the Oxford definition of selfish in the dictionary, and it says lacking consideration for others and chiefly concerned with one's own personal profit or pleasure without regard to others. So yes, of course, self-care has to do with us and taking care of ourselves. But I'm of the belief that the more we practice self-care rituals, that we're able to show up as a better version of ourselves in the world, which does benefit others. So there are some things that we can do to help relieve stress, to sort of relax our nervous system and get our mind off of the hamster wheel that it gets on sometimes, thinking about all of our troubles and challenges. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the different types of self-care and the benefits of them, and maybe give you some ideas, some things to think about, how you can approach your attitude and methods of self-care. So self-care should be approached with as an act of love and nurturing for ourselves, to, as I mentioned, to become a better version of ourselves for others out in the world. It's not an act of being greedy. It's actually an act of self-love. So there are different types of self-care and different aspects of ourselves that we can address when we're using self-care. So we've got the physical, the spiritual, and emotional levels of our being, as well as our mental, our thoughts. First, I'll talk about physical types of self-care. So anything that can nourish the 5 senses can be considered self-care, as long as anything is done in moderation. So right off the bat, I thought of the 5 senses. I thought of, taste, eating food. Well, that's great. Treat yourself to your favorite foods or desserts once in a while, as long as you're being responsible and doing it in a way that's not gluttonous or detrimental to your health. Other forms of self-care in the physical realm would include working out, walking, swimming, doing yoga, paying attention to our nutrition and what we're putting into our bodies. Are we drinking enough water? Are we eating enough fruits and vegetables? So that all can play into how well we feel and how well we're taking care of ourselves. So another way to practice self-care would be to get plenty of rest and make sure that you're getting good night's sleep as often as possible. And on the other side of that, instead of resting, playing. And I'm not talking about working out. I'm talking about having a mentality of fun, doing something maybe that you haven't done since childhood. It might be rollerblading or canoeing, anything that brings you joy and a sense of play and happiness in your life, and kind of brings forward your inner child. Continuing on, physical aspects of self-care include your hygiene and your grooming. So take good care of yourself. Make sure that you're brushing your teeth and taking a shower every day, and putting on fresh, clean clothes. And along with that comes with your environment. So not only would I recommend taking care of yourself and practicing good hygiene and good grooming, but also your home, the place you live in, and even your car. Clutter and dirt that accumulates can have a negative effect on our energy. So it's important to keep your space clean, keep it tidy, keep the clutter to a minimum if you can. I've been in process of purging the last week or so, and things I thought I still needed, I just, if I haven't touched it in a year, I'm getting rid of it. So a clutter-free environment is also important to your physical aspect of self-care. So moving on to your spiritual self-care. This can include things like prayer, meditation, silence, reading inspirational books, listening to inspirational music or podcasts. Spending time in nature is good, definitely good for our spiritual aspect because it brings it closer to God, or who you consider our creator, with little distractions from the outside world. And as I talked about in a couple of videos ago, practicing gratitude is important, not only for our overall well-being and frame of mind, but it's good for our spiritual aspects as well. It keeps us humble. It keeps us remembering that we don't control everything, and we have so much to be grateful for, that we have had nothing to do as far as bringing those aspects into our lives. Okay, so emotional self-care can include things like setting healthy boundaries. And your boundaries can shift and change over the years as you shift and change. So don't be afraid to say no to something that you normally would have agreed to do in the past, but maybe you're too busy, or you're just not feeling motivated or inspired to be a part of whatever that activity is. So set healthy boundaries with your loved ones and your friends for your own emotional self-care. Listening to and playing music is a great emotional form of self-care. And whether you're a musician or not, I think we all can benefit from listening to music. Make it be music that has meaning for you. Use music that inspires you, motivates you, calms you. You know what's best for you, so use that music as a tool. Stay connected with your friends and family. This is important for emotional well-being. And sometimes there's people in our lives that we may have turned to quite often in the past, and for whatever reason we've sort of pulled away from them. But don't be afraid to reconnect with those you feel are for your greatest and highest good. And bringing about the best version of you is important too. If you find there's people that you're around on a regular basis that are drawing out negative aspects of your personality or thought process, maybe make a shift and not spend as much time with those people. Seek out those who are on your energetic level and bring out the best qualities in you. And on the other end of staying connected would be spend some time alone. It's so important. Many people are afraid to be alone. They're afraid with their thoughts. And what I found in my life is the more time I spend alone, the more growth I have, the more insights I gain, the more connected I feel to God. And I'm able to communicate with God when I spend time alone. So I find that there's profound wisdom in the silence. It takes some getting used to. But practice that. Even if you're someone who really doesn't want to spend any time alone, then just start it in small increments. A few minutes a day, maybe 5 or 10 minutes a day. Especially for you busy moms or people who are working full-time jobs, I understand that that's a difficult thing to do, but really carve out some time to be alone, because you'll find there's great growth in that. As your emotions come up, to practice self-care, it's important to let your emotions flow and not suppress them. Even if we are not sure of the reason why that we're feeling a particular sadness or anger, it's okay to not know all the reasons. But by suppressing our emotions, we're creating problems later. So do the best you can to sort of let your emotions flow and see them as leaves on a stream, just sort of floating by and not sticking around. You see it coming, here it comes, there's the thought, there's the emotion, and then it goes by, and just sort of release it. And one of the biggest things for your emotional well-being and self-care would be to ask for help. So if you're struggling with severe depression or sadness, please reach out to a friend, a family member, or even a professional who can help guide you into a deeper healing process. Some of these aspects of our self-care we can definitely address on our own, but there are some times when we need some help. So don't be afraid to ask for help, because it is available. And while I am on that topic, I'd like to say that I did add a disclaimer to my channel description, but I'll also state it here today, that these videos are for entertainment purposes only. So I offer suggestions and my ideas of methods and things that have worked for me. It may not apply to your situation, so take it with a grain of salt. I encourage you to get professional help if you feel you need it in some aspect of your life. I appreciate you watching my videos and taking my lessons to heart, if that's what you're able to do. But know that this is in no way represented as direct therapeutic treatment or any type of a treatment that could replace a professional. So by practicing the self-care, we're showing ourselves self-love. And as I mentioned, that helps us to show up as a better version of ourselves out in the world. A really good advantage to practicing self-care is that we can pick and choose the methods that we use. So, for example, I like to take a 5-mile walk 2 to 3 times a week. That brings me outside and gets me out in nature for, it takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to walk 5 miles. There's a great trail nearby that I enjoy very much. So I do the walking. I take hot salt baths a few times a week, and as the colder it gets, probably more often. I spend a lot of time in silence and meditation. And I listen to meditative music as well as playing music. So these are a few of my aspects of self-care that I use. But I pick and choose the methods that work for me. I know I'm overdue for a massage, so I'm going to be setting up some massage therapy pretty soon. But another advantage of that is that we can pick and choose the times that we practice self-care as well. So working it into our daily schedule, I try to practice at least 2 to 3 aspects of self-care every day. So stay open to different modalities as well as you start finding more methods of self-care. Some suggestions may be made to you by a professional, and that would be in the holistic and traditional therapies, where you might pick and choose a self-care modality that you find is very helpful. So, you know, in holistic, it could be massage therapy, it could be a sound bath, acupuncture, Reiki. Any of these modalities would probably provide you some very nice self-care. And then in the traditional realm, of course, we have things like counseling and therapy to help us accomplish that as well. So through these regular practices, whatever you choose to do, through these regular practices, you're going to soothe your spirit and calm your emotions. It helps to also calm our thoughts and regulate our nervous system, which helps us to de-stress. And as I mentioned with the silence, it helps us to find insights and life lessons that can be revealed that are beneficial to our growth as an individual. So these are my tips and suggestions on self-care. If you have any questions at all, please put them below in the comments. I'm going to pause the video for a minute and get set up, and I'll be playing a couple songs for you today as well. So stick around. Take 2. Here's a song I wrote a couple winters ago while I was watching it snow. It's called Light and Warmth. The hushed white snow this winter's night that sparkles as it's hit by light. It brings to mind the oneness that abounds as each cold day draws to a close, and hearths are lit with fires that glow. A greater light and warmth my heart surrounds. Our hope, our light in peace and might ignites our soul set hearts right. Each one of us is called, each one and all. message now is still the same, to share our love, help heal the pain. Let's come together, time to heed the call. Like snowflakes, beauty in each one, design created by the one. So too we are connected by the love. With grateful hearts lit by the flame, together strong our spirits sing. Peace and goodwill to all things one and all. Our hope, our light in peace and might ignites our hearts that souls are right. Each one of us is called, each one and all. The message now is still the same, to share our love, help heal the pain. Let's come together, time to heed the call. Like snowflakes, beauty in each one, design created by the one. So too we are connected by the love. With grateful hearts lit by the flame, together strong our spirits sing. Peace and goodwill to all things one and all. Peace and goodwill to all things one and all. Hope you enjoyed that. Happy holidays to everybody, not just those who celebrate Christmas. Here's a little Christmas song for you. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on your troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of your faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be back soon. Have a great day.